Hey Eagles fans, just a bit of a different video tonight because I am staying at a mate's place over the Easter weekend. I did watch the game tonight and by God it was a shocker, so I'll give my thoughts in a minute. If you are watching my channel and you are not yet subscribed, I would appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and gave me a like. It'd help spread the videos out to more Eagles fans. But anyway, without further ado, I'll just run through tonight's video. I won't make it too long tonight because I've had a few beers, but what a shocker. I honestly thought we were past this. It's such a bad step backwards from where we've came from the last few games. And even last year under Mini, like this is his first 100-point loss. I didn't think this would happen this year, but if it ever was going to happen, it was probably going to happen against the Swans. I didn't think it would be at home, though. I thought we would do better at Optus Stadium against most opponents. Swans are a bit of a team that enjoys a good flat tracking, and we were the flattest track imaginable for them tonight. So, yeah, a bit of a step backwards for us, and honestly, I felt it was our senior leaders that had probably let us down a lot this game. You know, you look at the stat sheet and see TK got a lot of it, but boy, he burnt the ball a few times, and it just ended up in seeing the ball fly down the other end for Sydney just to score at will. So, yeah, not great. I won't go through individual players too much tonight, but I'll just stick out what comes to mind because I don't have the stat sheet in front of me. I'm recording on my phone. So, yeah, absolutely. So, TK, look, probably among our best, but really not our best. Got a lot of the ball, burned it a lot, was okay, but just looked really indecisive, not that great. So, is what it is. As for the other on-ballers, Harley Reed, pretty non-existent. He did have James Jordan on him the whole night, and Cox just didn't let that tag go even until the end. He saw right at the end Harley was taking kickouts. Obviously, Mini trying to free him up at the end of the game. The result was obviously long gone, but at least trying something different to free him up and get the ball in his hands. Thanks, Dean. Really good applying a tag in 100-plus point shellacking. Appreciate that, but he's got to do what he has to win the game. As for the other on-ballers, I thought Graham was all right. He got run down a few times, but at least he tried. As Graham does, he'll never leave anything out on the park. He really works his backside off. That's pretty much it for the midfielders. I can't really think of anyone else that actually made any kind of impact at all in that area, although it was good to see CDT go in there in the last quarter. I think that's finally an acknowledgement that Flynn he's not it. Okay, so I don't want to burn the guy too much. I know that he's voted into the leadership. He's supposed to be an amazing guy, but he ain't an AFL level ruckman. He can't do it, guys. Like, I know Brodie Grundy is a really good ruckman, but you can't have a guy that uncompetitive just absolutely getting torched in the ruck game in, game out. For me, like, that has to be the last time he plays senior AFL footy. Has to. I don't want to be too emotional after a massive, absolute shellacking. Like, that's a horrific loss. And I don't want to be too emotional about it. And let's be honest here. We did have the 10 youngest players on the field tonight. The youngest player for Swans was Angus Sheldrick at 22 years of age. So we've filled an incredibly young side. So I think that's something to acknowledge. But Flynn isn't young. I know he hasn't played a lot of games because he was a late bloomer, but he can't play ruck for us, especially with the new ruck rules. Like, as soon as Archer Reed and CDT went into there, it just looked so much better. It didn't always connect, but at least it looked like it wasn't just Grundy, hit ball to Heaney, kick ball to forward line, goal. That's all it was for most of the game. They offered us something different, and I think that Bailey Williams, as much as he has his detractors, can offer that point of difference for next weekend. He can leap high. He can get over the other ruckman. We saw it in the waffle on the weekend. We know that he's not the greatest around-the-ground player, but at least in set of bounces, he's not going to get absolutely dunked on like Flynn was. So, yeah, please, Flynn, out. Love you, mate. You're a nice guy, but just do your work elsewhere off the field. I don't think you should be near the AFL team ever again. As for the rest of the team, like things were pretty horrific. Let's not paper over the cracks here, but 4-11 is really bad. And it's not like a lot of the shots were particularly difficult either. So if we're going to get completely destroyed on the scoreboard, at least kick straight. We couldn't even do that tonight. And Sydney were just kicking them from everywhere. So I feel really bad for the backman. I kind of wanted to say some really bad things about Young tonight, but I mean, what's he supposed to do when the ball's coming in that easily? So I'll give him a reprieve on this evening. Kerno did kick 4, and well, Jimby was mostly opposed to him, but he wasn't opposed to him all the time. But again, same thing. Like, what's he supposed to do when the ball's coming in at will? As for the forward line, like, I really thought that our young players and the youngest of players stood up the most. It was probably honestly our senior leaders that let us down tonight, which is really disappointing. You would expect more from them. They're seasoned AFL bodies. They shouldn't be not putting in the effort against a team like the Swans at home. Like, I understand they were always going to outclass us, and I always had them beating us, but gee, I thought we'd lose by 100 points less than what we actually did. So, not great. I would like to see the War Act read to a number of these guys for next weekend. Sorry, the Riot Act is the one I'm talking about. Because honestly, I just don't think a lot of them are up to AFL level. And if you watch the Waffle game, you can watch my review of it from yesterday. The game from Friday, like, that was not good. There's nobody coming in other than probably Bailey Williams, because the rest of them there's no cavalry coming from the Waffle. Now, having said that, we've got Dev Robertson coming back in, and maybe Yo might be a surprise back in for next weekend. So if that does be the case, I expect at least Harley to get a lot more support, because he just didn't have it at all tonight. He had James Jordan on him, and I do want to touch on this because it makes me so angry watching the commentary, and I'm sure it does for a lot of you guys as well. Harley Reed's a third-year player, and David King at the start, and well, not even at the start, but earlier in the week goes, gee, Kane Corlins is so tough on Harley Reed. And then he spends the entire game shitting on Harley Reed. Mate, you have no awareness. Just because your team won 2 games in a row finally since 2021 and you get to enjoy 2 beers, doesn't mean you get to shit on Harley every game. He's got the best tag on him, with one of the best midfielders in the entire game, with 2 of the best players in the entire game that he has to face off against as a third-year player. Plus, let's not kid ourselves. I know this is a rant, and maybe this is a bit tinfoil hat, but let's not kid ourselves that Harley does not get umpired differently. He does. Okay, so Ruben gets elbowed in the head. That's a reportable offence. Does he even get noticed? No, he doesn't. Harley barely goes to remonstrate. Free kick, goal to Swans. You look at, there was the incident with Jordan Sweet and the Richmond player. I forget exactly. It was the backman who clocked him in the ribs tonight. Got a free kick and a 1-week report. Guys, the same thing happened to Harley last week after a handball. It was even worse. He was on the ground for over a minute. Do you think that even got a free kick? No, it didn't. Did it get reported? No, it didn't. I know that it's a bit conspiracy theorist about Harley Reed, but it doesn't stack up anymore. Clearly, he's umpired differently. These commentators shitting on him constantly. Will Schofield, you're not helping. Seriously, just shut the F up. He's a third-year player. Lawler did literally nothing today. Jagger Smith got crushed and embarrassed his team the other night. He got a goal late, but that was it. But you guys are like, oh, they're second-year players, and oh my God, they're so amazing. No. We don't get the same reprieve for them. I'm sorry. I'm annoyed. I'm really annoyed. I'm annoyed at the loss. Obviously, it was a terrible, terrible loss. And I think I'm giving you the whole idea why I call this channel Eagles Unfiltered tonight, because it's going to happen after a few losses and maybe a few beers, especially if I'm not at home and have time to edit these videos. I apologise for the negative aspect. But if your team is getting absolutely dunked, you don't want your one-star young player just getting picked apart all the time when it doesn't happen to other young players. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to turn this into a complete umpire whinge. fest. It had no result. Sorry, it had no effect on the overall result. Absolutely not. We just got absolutely dunked. The umpires had no impact on it. But it would be nice to see that things were at least done fairly if we're going to lose by 100 points. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I know we didn't enjoy the game. It was shithouse. Hopefully we get a much better showing at Gather Round against Geelong next week. We've got a bit more cavalry coming back in, and I'll be dropping my predicted changes on Monday as usual, and hopefully hoping for a much better game and a much better result. Anyway, bye for now. Go Eagles. Peace.